Now, I don't have a lot of time to go into that, right? But I'll give you my opinion, and we're going to dive into it deep in the Hebrew and Bible Academy with the news. But if anybody were to ask me, well, what's going on with the Epstein dumps? Because they are revealing a few things, right? Now we're starting to understand the evil controllers in authority over our people in the earth. Many people are waking up to it, but usually when they put a dump out there, it's to distract us from everything else. Okay, it's a bait and switch. They'll give you a little bit something, but because we started looking into something on this side. And usually, folks, what they do is they hang white people out to dry first before coming after our people. So when I see the Epstein and all this stuff, it takes me back to Weinstein when they used that as a proxy to put RICO charges on R. Kelly and eventually go after who? You got it, Sean Combs. So that no one can claim that it's racist. They'll dangle one thing out, but really they're going after our people who have generational financial wealth to hand down to their families. So when I see that with this dump right now, I wouldn't be surprised if this in of itself doesn't redirect against Jay-Z. Not that I'm agreeing with any of this. You lay down with snakes, you get bit. You lay down with dogs, you get fleas. So what we need to keep our eyes on now is that when they put out Weinstein and Gates and these others, who they're really redirecting the lawyers against, now that people want what? They want their flesh of meat. So they put it out there knowing the people would be clamoring for a flesh of meat, and then subsequent to that, a black face hung, that's right, at the public square. All right? So keep your eyes on that. I'll talk about that more in the academy and all that. I just wanted to put that out there, all right? Because guess what? I could give 2 cents about these Epstein dumps when no one gets arrested at the end of it. There are even some allegations out there that even that Epstein was taken out of the prison and all these others, and he's hanging out in Israel, and they claim, allege, that there's actually online footprint to prove this. Okay? So again, the devil does what they do. All right? So, speaking of that man of sin, we must protect our temples from the man of sin. All of a sudden, folks, we have some what? Some internet cleaning up by the elite. All of a sudden, Melinda Gates is trying to separate herself from her husband all of a sudden. See, but we don't forget anything. We don't forget anything. Because we understand. I'm going back to when they were together with these foundations, predominantly targeting our people, not just in Africa. And I'm saying our people, the lost tribes of Israel, like Judah here in America, our people in Africa, when they were targeting our people together under their foundations. All right? So she can try to separate herself if she would like. But this goes into modern medicine and all that. And these foundations choosing to come to our people under the guise of philanthropy and or to help them, only to end up harming God's people in the last days. And we're here as watchmen to warn our people. Do not listen to these people. They're dangerous. If the Epstein files have taught us anything, that what they put before us is a front. that this is a satanic cabal, Kabbalah, anyone? A satanic cabal coming off as if they are philanthropists or people that are seeking to heal the ills of humanity. That's a front. Everything these people do are intentional, and we must protect our mind, body, and spirit, our souls, from these deviants. And don't trust anything coming out of their mouths. If they're talking, they are lying. So let's go into Melinda Gates. And don't forget, the majority of things that she did with her husband was nonprofit, where they didn't have to pay a bit of tax, while going into all the areas our people were causing issues. So let's see her try to separate. Let's see if she's going to defend Bill Gates real quick, folks. Let's see what's going on here. Fair use for educational purposes. Folks, this is only about, let's see how long it is video. 3 minutes and 14 seconds, so we're going to play the whole thing out. I'm not going to interrupt it. But folks, what this looks like is her rallying to the internet to separate herself, knowing what's in the Epstein files. And folks, it's part of their religion. Children will always be at the center of what they do privately, because why? Moloch and Baal require innocent sacrifices. So what we witness in the Catholic Church, when it comes to, there's a cardinal who stepped down in England not too long ago. Over 100 children. You don't hear nothing about that. There'll always be that at the Catholic Church. You'll always, I'm going to tell you, look at some of the Jesuits that's coming out of Arizona with what we're hearing about with Camp Hauchua on the border. And these weirdos coming out of the Jesuits that are the authority over the Christian churches. Are they connected to it too? I wouldn't be surprised. Because every time they come around with some weird children too. That's what Anya showed me. They popped up in Cleveland with some weird looking children. Like, what's going on here? Why are you all up on the Israelite set, God's people set, and bringing some weird children, and they look, it's strange children. Where do you get these people from? Are they a part of the satanic cabal? But I digress. Let's see what Melinda Gates have to say concerning her husband now getting exposed through the Epstein dumps. Fair use.
I have to acknowledge the elephant in the room at this moment.
For educational purposes.
Bill is named
only
in the newest tranche of Epstein files. And
Yep.
there are a new alleged details about his past behavior. And I want to give you the opportunity to respond in whatever way you want to.
Well, let me say this. I think we're having a reckoning as a society, right? No girl should ever be put in the situation that they were put in by Epstein and whatever was going on with all of the various people around him.
So she's not denying.
Man, she don't care anyways.
That things were going on with underage children. The question was asked about her husband, and she said, her ex-husband, and she's retorting.
Man, this woman talking about no girl should go through that. It's like, you don't care anyway. She was a part of that. You know how old they are? They've been doing that stuff for decades, and she knew, and she was a part of it. So she don't care. She's just lying. That's what they always do. They just lie. Well, I'm sorry. No person should go through that. It's like, Bro, you agree with that stuff.
with. None of this should have happened with that girl or the little girls underage in Epstein's circle. So she knew something was going on.
No, girl. I mean, it's beyond heartbreaking, right? I remember being those ages those girls were. I remember my daughters being those ages, right?
And what she's leaving out are the little boys. They're required under Moloch sacrifice also.
So, for me, it's personally hard whenever those details come up, right? Because brings back memories of some very, very painful times in my marriage, but I have moved on from that.
It brought back memories from very painful times in my marriage, so I moved on from that. So are you insinuating that it was so heinous that you had to divorce your husband? And if you understood this criminology was going on, why didn't you call the authorities? Huh? Right? I need y'all to think about this. So it was such a heinous thing he was doing that she had to divorce her. But you know what? But I'm going to tell you something about some of these people. They see the long game. The generational wealth that's been acquired for her children and for her family, she's not going to sacrifice that no matter what her husband allegedly did. See? So it's not about justice with these people. If she was to execute judgment, then her family loses everything. And that's the difference between our people and these people. Right? Surviving R. Kelly and all these other things, because come to find out that they were doing videos and all that, alleged Jay-Z and all of that, R. Kelly at Epstein Island and all that, allegedly. But you notice you're not going to get her in some hit piece documentary against her husband. Why? Because she'll lose, and her family will lose, the generational wealth that have nothing to do with his activity. But you get our simple people who will be thrown $1 million by an ambulance chaser, who will stand up and testify against their own husband or ex or whatever the case is, not realizing that the generational wealth that was acquired by the man you're throwing under the bus will be taken, and your children will be thrown out in the streets with nothing. See?
I purposely pushed it away and I moved on. I'm in a really unexpected, beautiful place in my life. So whatever questions remain there of what I can't even begin to know all of it, those questions are for those people and for even my ex-husband. They need to answer.
Hey, folks, don't think that this is not put on the internet, okay, as an exhibit that can be utilized in court later. She is separating herself publicly, and it's documented. Okay? Right? The handlers, the lawyers, the PR people, all of them called together and say, listen, right now your ex is getting lambasted right now, and you're going to have to get in front of this. Because you two were tied at the hip. Huh? See how it works?
To those things, not me.
Well,
And I am so happy to be away from all the muck
yeah.
that was there.
I have to
And
put,
see, and then you get a concerned actor, right? And it seems as if she's genuine, caring. And if she can accept, now now this is Media 101, folks. She represents us as the listeners. And if she don't feel that there's any vulgarity executed by Melinda and is willing to accept this garbage that Melinda is putting out there, then we are to react the way she is. See? See how it works? It's all psychology one-on-one. And don't believe, and folks, know that what they're doing here was rehearsed, okay? So this is the concerned, unbiased listener. This is the viewer now, and she's showing us how we are to take in what Melinda is saying and accept that she had nothing to do with Bill Gates's allegations.
More words to the muck for context for our listeners. The emails and the files suggest that Bill Gates had additional affairs and that he tried to get medication to treat a sexually transmitted infection, and that he was going to give you the medicine without you knowing. His representative has said all of this is false. It is not on you to have to respond to the details of that alleged behavior, but I wonder what your dominant emotion is when you read these news articles with these details.
Sad. Just unbelievable sadness. Unbelievable sadness, right? And again, I'm able to take my own sadness and look at those young girls and say, my God, how did that happen to those girls, right? And so for me, it's just sadness for, you know, I left my marriage. I had to leave my marriage. I wanted to leave my marriage. I had to leave I felt I needed to eventually leave the foundation. So it's just sad. That's the truth.
So she didn't deny that she contracted, according to the allegations, something through her ex. That's what they are alleging with the Epstein dumps, right? And that he tried to sneak antibiotics in certain things that she would eat or drink so that she can get healed from the nastiness without knowing that she was violated and or a carrier. Now, that in of itself makes her the victim that all women out there will be able to relate to. A man doing something, bringing something home, and now she will get what? Protection under womanese. Right? So she's automatically innocent, but we don't go out like that, because we go back to 2011. Fair use. Melinda Gates.
On health, you can look at what it costs to save a life or prevent a disease. And there's a few things that cost very, very little and have a dramatic impact. Vaccines are, even in that category, really unbelievable.
So again, if his wife couldn't trust him through all of that, if what they're saying is true, how can we trust that he's going into Africa suggesting what they would call health care benefits when it comes to medicines for our people? And when he's amongst these villages with these children, is it only about vaccines? I'm just putting that out there.
High volume vaccines often get down to cost way less than $1. And you give them many at once. And so even the overall delivered cost is very low. And it prevents.
Look at these poor babies. Now, this is why I'm coming out today with protecting our temples from who? From the man of sin. At the very end, it tells us in the book of Thessalonians that man of sin shall be revealed. What if what a lot of people received during the shutdowns, you know what I'm talking about. What if people received nanoparticles in them that would have the doctor see certain sicknesses and diagnose people with regular sicknesses that were pre-pandemic, but really the symptoms are coming from somewhere else. Suppose the nanoparticles can appear as diseases and or sicknesses. But really, it's the nanoparticles in the body operating, presenting those optics. What if that's the case? Especially out of what we've just seen and heard last Wednesday with our broadcast. Folks, we're up against another type of evil. And how do you administer that evil? Under the guise of helping people. So we're going to talk about it today. How do we rid our... They don't care, brothers and sisters, whether or not we know the truth concerning who these Satanists are now. They're revealing themselves. They don't care because what they put in people's body, they now have control over life and or death when it comes to these nanoparticles operating and causing the illnesses and sicknesses that they would like to create, allegedly. But they needed a Trojan horse. So how do we rid ourselves of these particular foreign particles, these agents? I'm going to talk about that on the other side, because you might think, okay, I got high blood pressure, whatever the case is. Well, suppose nanoparticles are creating the optics or the symptoms of high blood pressure or myocarditis, right? Or diabetes or blood clots. Suppose these are working as agents in the body and forming in the body to cause sicknesses where a doctor would have to diagnose it as something medical, with us not realizing there's other satanic underlying issues. And see, we're watchmen. This is what's going on in the earth is why the Most High have brought forth saints, watchers at the watchtower, to warn our people, believing that they can trust these Satanists who have always benefited from the slavery, that's right, the degradation and destruction of God's people. Brothers and sisters, this is why we were born. And this, brothers and sisters, is why the Gathering of Christ Church exists. Yes, we're Bible teachers, but it transfers real time into the real world prophetically to help our people through these times. And we're going to talk about that on the other side, okay? Before I do that, in a couple of seconds, I'm going to introduce my guest today. In a couple of seconds, I'm going to introduce my guest. But before I do that, right, I have a card before me. Thank you, Elder Ricard Shiar. And the brother wrote a heartfelt message to me that sent me this shirt. Soldier of Christ. And that's all I am, a soldier, right? 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 See the back of it? See the back of it? The brother sent me a heartfelt heartfelt letter of how much he appreciates what this ministry has done for his family, and just sent this to me and said, thank you, Elder. Brother, I really respect you. I love you. And I respect all you do, and I'll do anything to support your work. Okay? Anything to support your work. It was heartfelt. And I mean, the packaging is A1. Showing the possibilities of God's people. To provide this for the Most High's people in such high quality is why the nations don't want to let us go. Okay, the flavor, the quality. And this is why, brothers and sisters, I have the GOCC network and all that so that we can support our brothers and sisters with all these talents, all these gifts, the design. I mean, look at Kanye West and what he did, not having no background in the fashion field, but through the spirit became a renegade. And I'm just saying, all in all, brother, I really appreciate you sending me this shirt. He sent me two. The quality is nice. And it states, "A lion's whelp is a testimony of my life from a young boy to fatherhood. Every design is birthed from an invaluable lesson that I've learned on the journey." And he sent me a personal letter telling us that it was our lessons. "As our Heavenly Father loves his anointed son, I could only hope to share the same love as I raise my cubs. A lion's whelp. A lion's whelp. A lionswhelp.com. Look at this. Tell me the Most High isn't doing something wonderful through his work. Tell me he isn't doing something wonderful. And it's gifts like this that have sent to me that I solely appreciate, to know that, okay, there are people out there who think about us, who respect the work that we have actually put in to save his people. And you know what? I really appreciate you, brother. And I wanted to wear this shirt and tell others, hey, here's a sweater, high quality, with a serious message. Huh? So reach out and support the work. Now, speaking of support the work, hold up, Truman, just hold tight. I'm gonna bring you in one moment. Speaking of support the work, when I went to meet the body on the East Coast, I think the Connecticut body, Cleveland and others came through, and there was a brother, Deacon Gabar, who came with some different flavors of hot sauce, right? Different, and I was tasting it, and it's some of the best stuff I've tasted it, but he had...
Yep, you can look those up. Go buy that.
After...
Go buy that.
So as the enemy is... Get it? It give you... We're talking about visualizations. Unmute if you... Health questions and how to help him alive, knowing they was coming after his business, and that we need someone with his knowledge to help the church for well over. So before I segue over, I wanted to introduce everyone to Dr. Truman, who've been helping brothers and sisters in this church for well over 10, 15 years when it comes to herbal remedies. At a time when they were going after natural herbalists who had the talent, the natural God-given talent to heal. Dr. Sebi and others. We even helped Truman go into Jamaica to preserve him alive, knowing they was coming after his business, and that we need someone with his knowledge to help God's people at the very end. Right? So of course, because so many orders were coming in, and he was a small, him and his family was working from a small unit. When it comes to distribution, sometimes things didn't go out in time because we're ordering from all over the earth, and he's trying to fulfill all these orders, as well as taking personal consultations, hours at a time with people, which went into what? Some of the product not getting out at a timely fashion because he's only one man. Okay? So, again, that still haven't stopped him from helping our people. And we have to give our brothers and sisters and those who are with us, if I've learned anything after losing people close to me this year, we have to give our people their flowers while they're still with us. And I wanted to tell you, through the ups and downs, Dr. Truman, hey, I love you, brother, and I appreciate all you've done to continually help our people. All right? So, and this is why we're here today, because this is your lifelong ministry. To sacrifice time to make sure others live as the Most High intended. And I wanted to thank you. All right? Especially with the guests I had Wednesday. Truly. People need to know what to do to get through this health-wise. And there's no better person that I know on this earth that know about herbs than you. What say you?
Well, thank you for the kind words and for your support for all these years, for working with me so well to help the brothers and sisters. You're a great partner in Christ, and I want to thank you, sir.
All praises be to the Most High. And I would like to read this, brothers and sisters. I'm going to go here, and then what we're going to do is on the other side in a couple of minutes, you can keep it open, Dr. Truman. We're going to open it up almost immediately on the other side. Immediately. And have our brothers and sisters come in through Zoom, text, and phone calls to ask you what can they do to heal themselves or whatever the case is. And listen, after our broadcast Wednesday, our brothers and sisters need as much insight and help as possible. All right. And then after that, we'll let them know exactly what to do to reach you on the outside of our broadcast. Okay. Now, before I segue over, I thank the Most High, Truman, that he sent you into our lives. I need to tell you that. I'm going to tell you, I thank the Most High that he sent you into our lives, sir. All right? Because, and this is what I tend to realize also. Being one individual, you can only do what you can. Right? And that's why I had to pull you back in, because you're only one man and have been with the gift to understand what you do. It's not like many people in the earth. It's a lifelong understanding. And some people, even based on good, bad, or indifferent, right, expect certain things from you when you're only one man. And that's what I realized, even myself within the ministry, that I can't fulfill every individual's expectations of me, being one person. But I'm doing the best I can with what the Most High have given me. Right? And sometimes people point out, okay, what isn't being done and what isn't right, opposed to appreciating what you've done. And there's nothing more disrespectful than someone you've helped and someone that you would die for, who would turn on you and not see the positives you've invested in their lives. So I know sometimes you go through that pain yourself. Like, well, hold up. I know you're dumping on me, but I'm only one person, and I've helped you. I've helped your family. I help others. I'm only one person. But I'm going to encourage you, Dr. Truman, to say, listen, man, don't let anybody pile on you. You can't change what what went wrong when it comes to the business that you were dealing with. At the same time, the government is trying to shut you down and you got to restart and still get orders out. No one knew about this. It's to a point where you almost gave up. But don't let no man or woman, Truman, what you're doing is a labor of love through Christ. And if you weren't doing it, all the haters, what would they be doing to heal the people? So I'm just putting it out there, sir. You stay encouraged. Let me read this real quick. Like we brought out Bill Gates and others, men of sin. But ye are forgers of lies, and ye are all physicians of no value. Folks, what they're telling us is medicine isn't medicine at all. True medicine doesn't come with fatal side effects. They've blurred the line between medicine and poison. They're forgers of lies seeking to get poison into our veins. Poison we breathe through the air, with the chemical dumps and all these others. And then they're lying to us, making us believe it's genetic, as if something is wrong with our family to why we're sick. I don't ever want to hear a doctor start asking stuff about, well, did your mother have this or your father? My mother and father was fine. My grandfather lived to 101 years old and only had one doctor visit with someone knocking on the door with a stethoscope and a black bag. So folks, when they try to claim that something was wrong with your grandmother or grandfather, they're telling you that your family is faulty under eugenics. And if they are faulty, could it be something they gave our parents or grandparents that made us defective? Don't ever believe them when they claim that nothing can be cured. They're liars. Everything is curable. They're forgers of lies, and we're here to fight against it. The first thing Christ did with the disciples is give them power to stomp on the heads of the serpents and go out and heal the people. You can't have a ministry leading your sheep to the same people who are tasked in their private meetings to kill our people. We're the healers. During the pandemic, the preachers were more scared than their congregants. If I was going to one of those churches, I would have left out in a minute after seeing how these particular preachers were towing the company line and were scared to come out of their own houses. How can these people, Truman, tell us about faith? They're forgers of lies. And then speaking of forgers of lies, let me go now to Jeremiah 8:22. Jeremiah 8, verse 22. Let me read this. Jeremiah 8:22 reads, that's why I showed Melinda Gates and Bill Clinton, and Bill Gates. Them people were better off before Melinda and Bill got there. Because whatever they left, guess what? The people began to become sick. Allegedly. And I'm being guarded with what I'm saying here. But this is what our God says. For the hurt of the daughter of my people am I hurt. I am black. Astonishment have taken hold on me. Is there no balm in Gilead? Is there no physician there? Why then is not the health of the daughter of my people recovered? And the Most High is saying, all these doctors we have, they can't cure anything? Why is my people are becoming more and more sick? Could it be the people we're looking at to heal us as doctors? It seemed like the more facilities, the more doctors, the more pharmacies, the sicker our people become. And if we don't push up against this with healing remedies that the Most High intended since the Garden of Eden. Folks, we're going to be burying more of our loved ones. We have to understand what an army looks like. When they take off the army fatigues, and only to replace the army fatigues with white coats. This coming Sunday, hold on, I'm going to bring 1 second, Doc. This coming Sunday, we're going into Christianity, the Black Church. The origin of speaking in tongues, what the churches were originally set up for. The black churches were set up as a form of control, a political form of control against us. Okay, to leave out certain chapters in certain books of the Bible so that they can they would teach a slave doctrine that have lasted for generations now. But there were some people who stood up against this, like Gabriel Prosser, who was hung on the public square. Even during the time of the Seminoles, when the slaves were able to operate with the tribe of Gad, didn't sign any treaties, on this Trail of Tears went into Oklahoma and set up Black Wall Street. Those were Israelites. And it's no coincidence it's coming around full circle. They were Israelites setting up black churches in Tulsa, inviting other races of people. Okay? It wasn't just exclusive or some type of nationalist type of religion. It was our people knowing we were the children of Israel. Nat Turner knew that we were the children of Israel. And now we're coming around full circle that at the very place that a bomb was dropped, where the children of Israel were setting up our own market, Black Wall Street, full circle will be teaching at the Lord's Passover from that very same location. It's more than a coincidence, folks. They tried to stop it back then. What you're seeing right now. It's going to be glorious. West Coast. All of the West Coast is invited. Whether it be Arizona, California, Washington State, we're making room. We're going to treat this Passover as if it's the last one before the Exodus. I don't know if it is, but we'll be treating it as such. Okay? This coming Sunday again, we're going into Christianity, the Black Church. That's right. A slave doctrine taught from the pulpit. We're going to go into Sunday worship. We're going to go into, you can eat anything you want, how they used the replacement theology, and it was Zionists who were behind the theology that destroyed our people in the black church. Zionism. It went from us being the victims to after 1948, guess what? They became God's people before all of the black people here in the Americas who are truly God's people. They were infiltrated through what? Christian Zionism. So that now, no longer are they talking about the Hebrews enslaved. They're talking about a white-on-white fight between Hitler and them. Okay? We're going to be talking about that. We must release ourselves from the slave Zionist theology within the black church. And guess what? We're doing exactly that. Okay? This coming Sunday. All right. Dr. Truman, are you ready to help God's people?
Yes, sir, I am.
All right. Now, before we go over, I'm going to read one scripture, Psalms 119, and you can apply this to yourself, Dr. Truman. Being a help, a shepherd in your own right. Right? Let's go to Psalms 119 and 69. What did David say? Psalms 119, verse 69, it reads, what did David say? The proud have forged a lie against me. But guess what? But I will keep thy precepts with my whole heart. So when people begin to forge lies against you, you don't have to respond. Why? Before two or more witnesses, let all things be established. And if it's coming one-sided out of nowhere, 9 times out of 10, it's a bold-faced lie, unconfirmed, to put a stumbling block in front of the ignorant. I'm going to read it again. The proud have forged lies against me. That's what David said. Because before you can what? Destroy a person, you must first demonize a person. See? So that now aligning other evildoers with them is justified for the murder that they would call justice. Huh? Dr. Truman,
I'm on.
are you ready to heal God's people?
Always. Always, my brother.
All right. Well, brothers and sisters, we'll see you on the other side. Patreon.com/A Gathering 144 with Dr. Truman. That's right. A healing to destroy the lies that comes with who? The man of sin. And they are being exposed through the Epstein files. And guess what? May they all burn in hell for what they've done against God's people. What you say?
I'm on.
All right, let's go talk to our people. Keep in mind, we are the children of Israel, and yes, we are back. Shalom.
Shalom.
Read the Bible, read the Bible, read the Bible. Actually, hold on. Yeah, it's working. It would let me stream earlier for some reason. Well,